Right, hey, 2:30 and 3:33. So this is the lesson for June 5th. This is our fourth day of doing financial literacy, and today we're going to be talking about four major ways that you may make payments as an adult. So we're going to talk about the four major ways. The first one is cash. So this is using your own physical money. So if you have bills, dollar bills, or coins to pay for things. An advantage of using cash is that you actually feel like you're spending money, so you might be more likely to stay in budget, because if you only bring $100 to the store, you can't spend more than $100. Some disadvantages are you can't buy anything online if you're only using cash, and it can be less convenient. And finally, another thing that you have to keep in mind with cash is that you need to keep it secure. Like, you can get it stolen or you might lose it. So that's important with cash, because if it's stolen or you lose it, it's gone. And also, if you wanted to return something, like say you bought a sweater and you decide you don't like it, you have to make sure you have your receipt to return it. Whereas if you bought it online, you probably already have your receipt in your email, and it would be easier to return it. Another way that you might pay for things as an adult is using credit cards. So these are small plastic cards that are issued by a financial company. So maybe you've heard of Discover or American Express or Visa. And this is where you actually borrow the money and you're going to repay it later. So most of the time when you have a credit card, like we've discussed before, you'll pay it back at the end of the month. And if you don't pay the whole amount, then you're carrying a balance. And when you do that, you can get charged interest and you'll end up paying more. All right, so an advantage of using a credit card is it'll help build your credit. So as we've talked about before, credit and your credit score is important when you're trying to access things. And so this can help you build that. If the credit people that write your score are seeing that you're making payments and you're always paying it off, then that's a good thing. It'll raise your score. The other thing is it can earn rewards. So maybe you've heard of like a credit card that has miles or something like that. You can earn some extra things. And finally, it's helpful in emergencies. So for example, a few years ago, my dog needed like emergency surgery and I didn't have the money right away. So it made sense to put it on my credit card because I could pay for it then. And then when I had the money, I could pay it off. Some problems with it is you can be charged interest. So that means extra money that you'll have to pay on top of what you already bought. And there's fees. So possibly an annual fee that you have to pay every year just for using the credit card. Or if you spend too much money, or if you're late in paying it, you could have to pay fees. Some things to think about when you're using a credit card is you should probably only purchase things that you can pay off that month. It doesn't make sense to carry a balance if you don't have to, so always trying to do that. All right, a third major way that you would pay for things as an adult would be debit cards. So remember, debit cards are linked directly to your checking account. So it's using a small plastic card issued by a bank or financial institution to immediately transfer your own money out of your account. So as soon as you buy something with your debit card, the money comes out of your account immediately. So say I had $300 in my account, and I go to the grocery store and spent $50. Now I've only got $250 in my account because I spent the $50 at the grocery store. All right, some advantages is you can only spend what you have. So if I only have $300, I can't spend more than $300 because my card is going to be declined and it just won't let me spend that much money. You can use an ATM. So if you wanted to get cash out, you can go to an ATM machine and get cash out and it'll come right out of your bank account. And another thing is you have a PIN number. So most of the time, debit cards have a 4-number PIN number that you decide on. And you have to type it in order to use it. And so that makes it more secure, because if you don't get the PIN number correctly and say someone stole it and they got the PIN number wrong, it won't let them use it. Some disadvantages is an overdraft fee. So let's say you did go to the store and you had $300 in your account and you tried to spend $305. It might let you do that if that's the settings that you have set up. And so that extra $5 that you went over, it's going to charge you that $5 plus probably a $25 overdraft fee. Some things to keep in mind is you should always keep that PIN number secure. So that 4-digit number for your debit card, make sure you're not sharing that with people, because if they stole your card or if you lost it or if somebody heard you say it, they would be able to steal your number and use your money to buy things. Another major benefit is you can track it online. So a lot of banks these days have apps. So you can always track how much you're spending at different places and making sure that nothing seems like, hey, I didn't actually make that purchase. I think this might be fraud. All right, the last way you might make some payments is online banking. So it's using the internet to manage your money, making transfers, paying bills, making deposits. So for example, like when I pay our gas bill, we can have it directly taken out of our bank account. So that's what they're talking about here. Advantages, it's a convenient way to pay your bills. It's nice and easy. You don't have to go in and pay at the gas place. You don't have to go into Comcast and pay at Comcast. Some disadvantages is identity theft. If somebody was pretending to be you, they might have the ability to pay for their bills out of your bank account. And one thing that you should always keep in mind, kind of along with the PINs, is to always have strong passwords. So it shouldn't be things like password 1234. It shouldn't be things like your name. It shouldn't be things like your birthday. Things like that are things that people could easily guess and then get into your accounts. All right, so now that we have these, we're going to talk about some scenarios that would be happening, and we're going to try to figure out which of the 4 cases it would fall under. So I'm just going to help you with a few of these, and the rest you're going to do on your own, and I'll upload the video. So Forrest bought a pair of shoes by swiping his card at the store. He'll actually pay for the balance at the end of the month. So since he's not paying for it now, that tells me that that's a credit card, because credit cards are the ones where you're going to pay for it later because you're borrowing the money. So you should put the Roman numeral 2, which it looks like II, for a credit card. Okay, next one. Divya logs into her computer and uses her bank's website to submit a payment for her electricity bill on the 25th of each month. That would be online banking, and online banking is 4 in Roman numerals, so I'm going to write IV. All right, I want you to finish up the rest, and I will upload my notes.